Welcome back to 100 Days of Code with Here. My name is Shruti, and this is week 5 of 100 Days of Code with Here already. So, again, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, we at Here Technologies have been doing a 100 Days of Code challenge on our Twitter handle at Here Dev. We've been posting one task every day, and by doing these tasks every day, you learn more and more about location technology, and you'll also be using our APIs to do that. So if you haven't started yet, go to our Twitter handle at your dev and check all the tasks there, or you can also do that directly on our GitHub repository, the link to which is in the description below. You can also check out other solution codes or solution posts, blog posts, as well as solution videos in the playlist here, which is the 100 Days of Code playlist on the YouTube channel, as well as the 100 Days of Code section of our blog post. So if you haven't caught up yet, go there, do that, and come back here. This is the solutions video for days 21 through 25. And with day 21, what we've started is the Geocoding in Search API. So this is one of the most powerful APIs that we have, which is essential in getting the location, the latitude and longitude of a certain place by putting in the address that you normally is a readable form of an address. So with that, we should immediately start with day 21. So day 21 was to get the location of the street Hauptstrasse. So now again, I've chosen the most common name here to show you certain more filters in the geocoder. You can obviously choose any street name you want. You can use any address you want. But in this particular, for day 21, I'm using the street name called Hauptstrasse. And this is to show you the geocoding and search API. So if you go to the documentation section of the geocoding and search, you'll notice that to start with using the geocoding and search API, you need to initialize your platform with the geocoding service. So what I've done is essentially initialize the get search service, and then I want to have a free form search. So here you can see that there's two types of geocoding, which is basically forward geocoding, is that you put in an address and then you get the latitude and longitude as response. And then there is reverse geocoding. So that is exactly what it sounds like. You put in a latitude and longitude and you get the written address, the readable format of the address in response. This week we're going to concentrate on the forward geocoding, the first one being the free form search. So for a free form search, you can just put in your query like you would normally on your phone, just type it in. So for that, I'm going to say let geocode params equals, and then I need just Q, which is the free form query, and I'm going to say Hauptstrasse. That's it. And then I'm going to call the geocoder. So you have geocoder dot, and the endpoint I'm going to use is geocode. We're going to talk about other endpoints in the following week. So this endpoint that we want to use is the plain geocode endpoint. And then I will pass my parameters. Then I need to do something on receiving the output, right? So I need an on result function, and then an alert message if something goes wrong. And I'm going to quickly write the on result, the callback function for it. So function on result, and I'm just going to log it out on the console. So console.log, and that's it. So if I log out the result and save this, I should see that's it. So I actually have 20 streets around me which have the name Hauptstrasse. And no kidding, it's Hauptstrasse is the main street, and every place has a main street. And as you can see, the result that I have, there's one in Switzerland, There's one in Austria. I can see the one, yeah. So there's one in Austria, there's some in Germany as well. So again, this doesn't help me a lot with what I wanted to do initially. So maybe this is not the best way of querying the most common street, which what it tells us is we need more filters. So we're going to look at those filters in the next days, but that's it for day 21. With this simple query about Hauptstrasse, what I got is an array of 20 places, locations which are called Hauptstrasse. Now I need to filter my query a little bit more. So initially I'm just going to filter it by the sheer number of it. So I don't want to see 20 results. I want to see only 5 results, but that's because that's what I can handle right now. So what you need to do is go to the API reference of the API, geocoding and search, and in the services, h.services, you'll see the different services uh, that are offered. And I'm interested in the geocoding and search API, so I go there, and you'll see that there's different endpoints to the geocode. And as we mentioned in day 21, we're going to use the plain geocode endpoint. So if you see that, and again go to the API reference section, you'll see the different parameters that exist in the geocode query. So what we use right now is the Q query, which is the free-form text query. And the next one I'm going to use is limit, and in which I'll limit the results just by the number. So I'm going to limit them to 5. And then if you save this, you'll see that now I only have 5 results of the street with Hauptstrasse, named Hauptstrasse. Again, I have a street in Switzerland, I have a street in Austria, I have a street in Germany. Not really what I want at this point. So uh, I'm going to try to filter this a little bit more in the next days. What I want to do is basically look for Hauptstrasse in Germany. So which means I want to limit the results to a geography. So if you go to the reference API reference again, you'll see that the parameter at is limited to a certain longitude and latitude, but the parameter in actually lets you limit the query, the results to a country. So I'm going to use that query. So if I go in, and then the format here is to have the country code, and then you need to use the alpha 3 country codes, ISO 31661 alpha 3 country codes of the country. For Germany, it's DEU. So I'm going to change that to DEU. And now if I check this, you will see that the answers are still 5, but all 5 are streets in Germany, which are called again Hauptstrasse. So that's it with day 23. With day 24, I want to be a little bit more specific with my query. I want to really get to the bottom of this. I really want to find this Hauptstrasse where I live. So I'm going to have to give a more structured address this time. So if you go to the parameters, you'll see there's this something called a qualified query. And a qualified query is basically the simple free form text, but then a little more structured. So instead of just writing Hauptstrasse and then defining the country, what I'm going to do is make this a qualified query. So this becomes QQ. And then, so my street is Hauptstrasse. Now I want my city to be Berlin. So this is city is Berlin. And then the country is Germany. So now if you search for this, you will finally get the one exact Hauptstrasse in Berlin that I always wanted. So again, this was a query for a fairly common street name. If you do a query for different streets, different places, you'll see different results, and then you can decide what level of filters do you want for the particular query. So let us know what name did you use, and comment below how many results you got and what is the most common street name around you. With day 25, I'm going to show you a little more uncommon street name or something that I can find the location immediately, but I'm going to show you something else with it. So I'm going to change this query to the address or the address of the office where I work from. So it's in Validenstrasse, 116, Berlin. So now if I do this, I will get a normal answer. I will just get one answer, which is super nice. And now if you check the response, you'll get the position of, you'll get the complete address of this. So you can also get the complete address if you're missing the postal code, etc. You'll also get the position of the building itself. And then what is interesting is that there is a parameter called access. And with access, you also get the access point of the building. So often you have buildings, but the entrance is from the side or it's from the back side or whatever. So if you want to, if you're doing a delivery application, you don't want to know where the building is. You want to know where the entry point of the building is. So instead of plotting the position of the building itself, it's useful for you to plot the position of the door of the access point. So what I'm going to do is in my console.results, I'm going to add a marker. So I have map.add object, and then you have oh god. So you have edge.map.marker, and you can add the position of the access point. So I'm going to do result dot items of 0 and then axis of 0. As you can see, this is where the point is, and then I'm just for fun, I'm also going to plot the position of the map as well, so of the building as well, so you can see that they are different, of course. And there you have results dot items dot position. Let me see if that's right. So you have items of 0 dot position. That's right. And if I zoom in here, you'll see that the building is here, the location of the building is here, but the entrance is from the road. So you have the access points marked separately. There you go. This was day 21 to 25 of 100 Days of Code. We've just started with the geocoding and search service. In the next few weeks, we'll cover more of the geocoding and search API. We'll cover all the endpoints that you saw during this video, as well as a few more tricks hidden up the sleeves of the geocoding and search API. So keep following 100 Days of Code. Keep following the tasks on our Twitter handle @yourdev. And again, if you have missed any of the previous solutions, you can find them in the blog posts with the tag 100 Days of Code on developer.here.com/blog. You can also find them in the video form in the 100 Days of Code playlist on our YouTube channel, as well as you have a nice little repository which has all the codes until now. So you can also directly fork the repository and then code from thereafter. So thank you for watching this video and keep following 100 Days of Code. Happy coding.